Hey everybody, Tim here for tonight's episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Season 3, Episode 2, Wedding Bell Blues. I think I liked it. How did I feel about this? I kind of had like a love-hate relationship for it. I know it was a big deal when it first came out. Everybody was kind of talking about it. Mostly because of Rice Darby showing up and his character, and whether or not it's Traylene or who it is. Much like the Q Continuum, I'm just going to kind of jump everywhere for this episode. So I am a big Q fan. Like, Q is actually what got me into Star Trek. I remember trying to watch it, never really caring. And then one of the first episodes I remember watching with my father was a Q episode, and my dad was like, "Oh, he's basically God." And I was like, "That's amazing." So I'm a big Q fan. Okay, love John Delancey, love the Qs, all that. So eventually, when I was old enough and I went back and watched the original series, I was a big fan of the Squire of Gothos. And I thought that was a great episode. I was really like, I understand, like, that's where Q came from. Totally get it. I'm a big fan of Q Squared by Peter David. This is a fantastic book. If you've never read it, I highly suggest you reading it. Now, I understand that the book is not canon, but this kind of throws a whole thing for a loop a little bit. Like, if we just jump straight to the end, when you see the little energy thing come, and it's Q, and he's talking, and he's like, or it's not Q, it's John Delancey is the voice. And they never say Traylene. They never give the character a name. I even watched the credits to just see, like, what is Rice, like, credited as. And he's never credited. So I was like, I mean, maybe he's Traylene. Maybe he's Q2 from Voyager. Like, who the fuck knows? Because we know time's not linear. So I don't know. I'm a little like, is this Traylene? Is this Q? Was that supposed to be John Delancey's Q? I don't know. Reading way too much into it. That's what alcohol in Star Trek does. Don't do that. Okay, starting from the beginning. So when they start from the beginning, or the beginning of the episode, and they're like, it's been 3 months since our battle with the Gord, doesn't make fucking sense anymore. I have made this complaint a lot, especially of late. Way back in the late 1900s, when Star Trek, the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, the peak of Star Trek, in my opinion, we were getting 26 episodes a year, y'all. And they were peak quality. They were fantastic. And so that's what TV shows were doing. The only months they had off were those summer months. And that's why a lot of season premieres had the 3 months later type thing, is because it's only been 3 months since we did it. Now that we only have like 10 episodes a season, like 3 months doesn't really make sense anymore. It's been like a year, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck happened? Like, I'm not going to remember that shit. But that's why they have previously on. So the 3 month gap thing just kind of made me laugh, and because it doesn't really apply anymore. Seeing Scotty in the transporter room was funny, because that's where we saw Scotty most of the time in the original series, was the engine room or the transporter room. We finally get to see Dr. Roger Corby. He was name-dropped quite a bit in the previous seasons. And then we know that Nurse Chapel is going to go study under him. Now, for those who have not watched the original series, Corby makes an appearance in the first season. It's like the 10th episode. In the original series, it's like Nurse Chapel's second episode. And boom, we get Corby. It's what are little girls made of? Something like that. And it's all about Nurse Chapel reuniting with her fiance, Roger Corby. So, spoiler alert for you, little post there. Like, Roger Corby's a big character. So to finally see him was kind of fun. Meeting Erica's little brother, I was like, I feel like he's going to end up being important. He's adorable. He's so cute. But I was just like, why do we need another character right now? Especially the documenting thing. I hate found footage type movies and episodes of shows. I know every fucking show ever has to have like a found footage live type feel episode. I never like it. So if that's where this is going, I'm gonna bitch the entire review for that one probably. So be prepared. Along with Erica's little brother, we also got a new nurse. that I do not remember his name. But again, he was a little cute, adorable little ensign. I was like, that's nice. We're getting all these new kids coming in that aren't in the original series, so it's not going to end well for these people. You can already tell. Basically, if you're a young person in this show, you're the red shirt of the show. Cool. Rice Darby is fucking amazing. He's so, so good. I am a little embarrassed to say I didn't know who he was for a very long time. I didn't really know his name until Our Flag Means Death. If you've never seen that, that is a fucking great show about pirates. I even thought about doing reviews of that at one time, but it was kind of in my gap years. And but who knows? Maybe we'll go back. And then after I watched that and I fell in love with him, I went back and I was like, oh, I have seen him in other stuff. He's great. He's really, really great. And so to see him pop up in this, I was like, this is okay. I'm really digging this. Kind of like in Discovery, I was actually a really big fan of the Mud episodes. And so I'd be totally fine if Mud shows up in Strange New Worlds. I'd be totally fine to see Darby show up again, but I very much doubt we're going to. He definitely seems like a one and done episode character arc. So, as I said, we don't necessarily know it's Trelane, but if it is, I get they both wear the pirate thing jacket, which, hey, Our Flag Means Death. Just put that together. But, well, assuming it is, then the first time we see him, he's actually like a Vulcan bartender, and then after that, he's an Andorian wedding planner. So nobody actually sees the Trelane that we saw in the original series. And so that kind of works for it. And then just overall, his character arc is just really, really well done. Completely lost that whole train. Which I thought it was weird that he's the wedding planner and then he's the officiant at the end. I was expecting them to kind of give us like a reflection and him be a third character, but it never showed up. Oh well. A lot of his little... As soon as he snaps his fingers... Because I don't think Trelane snapped. I don't remember. But as soon as he snaps his fingers, I was like, okay, now I see where this is going. But that's why I don't think they're going to bring him back, is because we get Trelane in the original series. That's where that train was. He does mention a Caliphie situation, which is the whole T'Pring and Spock and Kirk love triangle from the battle episode. Is it a Muck Time? From that episode. I don't think, do they ever answer why Corby knows? Spock figures it out because of intense emotions, and that's the only reason I can think Corby knows, but I don't know if they actually say it or not. I can't remember. It's been a long day. You can definitely tell we're in the wrong universe when they offer Scotty a drink and he's like, "Oh no, I don't touch the stuff." And I was like, "Oh, it's like the mirror universe at this point." At the wedding, I had a lot of kind of questions. Like, again, I get it's a fake wedding and all that, but shouldn't Amanda have been there? Which I already said in her first appearance. I was like, I need more Amanda episodes. This would have been a great kind of... I understand she would have just been shoehorned in there, and even if the actress didn't do much, he just stood there, it would have been a nice touch. Erica's comment on how all weddings should be on the beach and everybody in shorts was fantastic, because I was married on a beach, and like everybody, we didn't even pay for chairs because we were fucking broke, and so everybody sat like a volleyball pit, and so we had like sand everywhere. It was great. When he changes... We'll just say Trelane. When Trelane changes Corby into the dog and nobody fucking cares, I was like, this is great. But it's all, again, it's a reference like when Q turned, I can't snap with my right hand. When Q turned Dr. Crusher into a dog. So I was like, hey, that stays in the family. We get it. And then probably my favorite touch of the entire episode at the very, very end was the Indosian bartender. Again, for those that don't know, Indosians go all the way back to the 70s for the animated series. There's an Indosian on board the Enterprise. He's like the helmsman. Atrix, something like that. And it's fantastic. It was great. We also see them show up again in Lower Decks. So this is the first time we've actually seen an Indosian that's not animated. So I absolutely loved it. I thought that was a really, really nice touch. and just kind of bringing everything together. And they even kind of give a shout out where the bartender's like, if you're asking me to join your crew, the answer's yes. So I was like, hey, that opens up the doors. Because depending on how you look at it, a lot of the animated series, in my opinion, is absolutely canon. That's also where we got the holodeck. That's where we get Robert April, who is one of the like kind of main supporting characters for this show. So yeah, I would say the animated series is totally canon. But I liked it. Overall, I really, really liked it. I did have questions, and I think way too much into it because that's how my brain works. So I'm curious what you guys are thinking about this one. What are your thoughts on Traylene? What are your thoughts on the wedding planner character for this one? I was hoping we got the brief reflections of the Vulcan and the Andorian, but I actually wanted more because those are very blink and you miss it reflections. Just like when he's like peeking through the window towards the beginning of the episode. I think it's in Spock's room. At one point, he's like through the window, and it's like, oh god, it's creepy as fuck. So I'm curious what you guys are thinking. Go ahead, let me know. I'm going to try to blaze through this, and then it'll be a surprise what comes next. So thank you guys for watching and subscribing. Thanks for commenting. I always try to comment back. I'm not great, but I try to. And I will see you guys next time for Shuttle to Kinfori.